This is the Stockwell Roueche Show, giving you real-time information you need to make educated decisions about buying and selling in the world-renowned Twin Cities. Now your hosts and real estate experts, Jason Stockwell and Josh Roueche.
Investment buckets, design and remodel. That's what we'll be talking about today. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
Josh Roueche, Remax Advantage Plus.
Welcome to the Stockwell Roueche Show every Sunday here at 10 a.m. on 1280 The Patriot. Happy to be here with our special guest. We have Nikki Knuckles, who is the Regional Diverse Segments Manager and the Charitable Giving Manager of Wells Fargo. How you doing, Nikki?
Good. How are you?
Awesome. Great day. Great day. Eric Swift. He is a financial representative with Country Financial. How you doing, Eric?
I'm doing good.
And we have Robin Hartle, who is a Remax Results agent, but she also does design with us today, and she was the co-host of Home Time. So that's got us into the design and remodel. How you doing, Robin?
Good. Awesome.
So first off, before we get into the topics and the meat and the bones of investing, 401ks, Roth IRAs, how you can utilize them to your advantage when remodeling, and we'll talk about how you can get remodeling financing with Nikki, and Robin will give some information on design and how that can actually be more affordable than what you might think. It might not be too big to chew off to do a whole home remodel or kitchen and bath or living room remodel. So, but first off, market update. How are we doing on the real
market's
estate market?
Picking up. It's July. Usually July's a little bit of a slow month, but right now we're seeing new listings. We're up 9.7%. Last year at this time we had about 7,200 listings on the market. Now we're at close to 8,000 homes on the market now in July this year. So that's great. That's great news. We're seeing people starting to put their houses on the market, which is great. And we're also seeing the pending sales. Pending sales are a little bit down right now, so that's also good news for you buyers out there. There's not as many multiple offers, on a lot of the homes that are going on. So we're down 4.2% based off where we were at last year this time for July. The median market, as far as house, the market, median market, where's my statistics on that? Average sales price right now for July, we're at $260,000.
Wow.
That's the medium standard price right now in today's market, whereas last year it was $248,000. So we're up 5.1% there. Market's really, we're in a great market right now, which is awesome. I know we're staying very busy with my team, and I know you are with your team. You guys are
leveling off too, which is good news.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
So more listings coming on, not quite as many pending, which means buyers might have more selection to choose from and not competing as much. And also the summertime is the time if your home hasn't sold. If you're out there listing, your home hasn't sold, and you have your home for sale, contact us.
Now is the time.
Yeah, you want to take advantage of it now before school starts, before you get into fall.
Yep.
And go to our site on Facebook, Stockwell Roueche Show, or go to tcrealestatehour.com. Click on the home evaluation link, and feel free to inquire in.
I've got a few questions from a couple people we'll get to later in the show, though, but we'll read those off based on some of the stuff that we've got going on the show today, too. So which will be very good information for you listeners out there on what's going on in the marketplace, and then where to actually to go get some money when you're looking at going to get some houses. So we'll tie a little bit more into that. But I think we should get over to Nikki, and Nikki, let's talk a little bit about what's going on with you in Wells Fargo. And
Sure, thanks. So can I add a little bit to the market update, if you guys don't mind?
Yes,
I think
please.
July, we know, is sort of that peak, that moment in the year where it does, as you mentioned, become less competitive, which sort of lends to a little more affordability. So while things are very, very, at least since about 2013, things have been consistently affordable and not a high fluctuation rate either, but still looking at very nice affordability. The affordability housing index tells us that as well. So good.
Which is great.
I say get out and shop.
Right.
Rates have been creeping up just a little bit. So if we're thinking about, time is of the essence, always in real estate. So if you're thinking about buying, I think get out and meet with a real estate agent. Go to the website.
Also, ask about a couple of promotions. Couple of promotions that you may qualify for. Actually, there's 3. 1, free in-home staging. When you list your home, you can get free in-home staging. So go to our site and inquire on that, or go to Facebook.
Like free in-home staging, like to stage the whole house.
Yes.
Or just the consultation?
We have a couple spots for free in-home staging. Also, design. You always can get free design on your home for designing a remodel or for doing anything, or if you purchase and need design work. And then lastly, a guarantee program. There's a guarantee program that if we sell your home in 59 days, actually now it's 59 days or less. If we don't sell it in that time and we do all the things we're supposed to do and we're in agreement, then you have no cost on selling your home in 59 days or less. So
Which is awesome.
go inquire about those things.
Because I believe the average day on market right now is like 70 days, so that's great.
Yep. So inquire on those, because if your home isn't selling, there could be a reason for it, and it could be your strategy. You always have to have a good strategy when you go in to plan on selling your home, and that's very, very important. And especially now, crunch time, as we talked about, it could be crunch time for many, many, many people, many, many sellers out there.
The summer hangover's over, school's coming up, you want to list your house, you want to sell it, now's the time to talk to a professional, help them get you what's going on in your marketplace, the median marketplace, what's going on in your neighborhood, and let us go in there and help you out.
And we'll get into the how you can use money to renovate. I think that'd be great. Nikki, Robin, maybe you could share quick your story that you and Nikki were talking about ahead of time about how the person, I'll let you go on it. A person is buying a home that needs a lot of work, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's a first-time home buyer, but when she came to me, she knew I was an interior designer and a realtor, but she came to me and she said, I'm a first-time home buyer, but I want an ugly house.
You don't hear that very often. I don't hear that very often at all.
Yeah. She knew she wanted something that she could put, some work into and that kind of thing. But, she also wanted it in a good neighborhood. She wanted it in a good place. And so we worked.
Those are hard to find.
They are really hard to find
hard
because
to find.
a lot, she was up against investors.
Yeah.
Cash.
She was up against
First-time
flippers.
home
king.
buyer and ugly house usually don't go together. Investor, ugly house, yes.
Yes, absolutely. So, we looked at quite a few, and of course, she was up against multiple offers. She was up against investors, and so we finally, found her a house, and she won out, and so I helped her get this great house, and so then came the financing, and we looked into a 203K.
Yep. Those are fun.
And so that was a challenge in getting her the right lender, the right loan for her as a first-time home buyer, and not have to pay a lot in fees and that kind of stuff. So, but then of course, she's got to get hooked up with a licensed contractor to get this work done. And so we're working with her on that, and it's a fun process. So
And
she's
that's
really looking forward to it.
one of the most utilized programs, right, Nikki? 203K for a home that needs a boatload of work.
It's a rehab. It's a rehab loan.
Yeah, I would say it's underutilized.
I would
Really?
say, I would say
And
so
then-
too. Right.
Yeah, I would say it's absolutely. I mean, we have aging properties, even in the suburbs, in great neighborhoods. So we have aging properties. We have some distressed properties still, but not as much as about 4 or 5 years ago. But I
Harder
think
to
it's
get qualified?
underutilized.
Why is it underutilized? Is it
I
harder
think
to get
it's a lot
qualified?
because a lot of loan officers don't know how to actually use the
They
product.
don't.
It's specialized.
And
Is
It
it?
is
Yeah.
a specialized program, and raising awareness about the opportunity is really important, and it's a good option. Again, we've talked about this before, Jason. Informed choice. Let's give some choices to folks as we're going out talking about financing, or even in the market looking at houses. If it's an ugly kitchen,
Yeah.
you can fix it.
Right?
And
Yeah.
that's the other thing to talk about too. We'll get into it later on. Is the cost. The sheer cost can be overwhelming. The sheer process can be overwhelming,
Yeah.
right?
It is a long. It's a
And you
long
can be
process,
so
right?
daunting that you think it might not be possible. So then what do? You either just say, okay, fine, we're going to live with this, or secondly, other option is we won't buy this particular home. We'll look for another one
Right.
that's shiny and clean and already done, and then you're paying a premium usually
Right.
for that one. So there's advantages to buying these homes that need work, that are dated, old. And with our population, we talked about demographics. A lot of people we're talking to nowadays have been in the home a long time. They haven't remodeled or updated for decades. And it needs maybe something for the new buyer to come in, this generation of buyers to come in and do something with. And 203K is always available, but they're just not utilizing it as much, probably because they are is it a fee thing? Like Robin's client got scared off by the fees, Nikki, or
I mean, that can be an issue for some people. I don't know that it is the issue. I just think not being aware
It's educated.
Just not being aware that the program exists. And again, it's specialized. Not all loan officers in the marketplace know how to do it.
I know a lot of loan officers will shy away from it and just say, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Because
just
they don't know it.
We have a branch
Yeah, you have a whole
dedicated.
division, don't
we
you?
have a
Wells?
whole
Yeah.
branch dedicated, and that's all they do because it is specialized. Now, I don't originate myself anymore. It's been a number of years, but I did originate purchase rehab loans, both FHA, which is government, and then conventional home style. That's a Wells Fargo program. So I did originate both of those, and I was a first-time home buyer that did a purchase rehab.
Okay.
On my second house, it was turnkey resale. And on my third house, it was new construction.
Oh, wow.
So I've had all the properties, right? But I'll tell you, I still drive by that little old house on Knox in North Minneapolis that I lived in for 4 years and loved. I still drive by it, and it feels like it's my house.
You bought that. Tell us what you bought that for.
$89,000,
And you did a renovation on the property.
$90,000.
In renovation.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
More than the value that you
Yeah.
paid for the
Yeah.
home. in
absolutely,
renovation.
and it was
Wow.
worth it.
It's almost like on a
yes.
203K product, all you need is like a wall standing, right? And then you can rehab it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Your foundation.
Yeah.
You could gut
Yeah.
it, tear it up,
Yep.
knock it down.
Awesome program.
leave
It's
one wall
fun.
up, you're
It's
good to go.
stressful.
Yeah.
You need good partners.
Yeah.
You need a good real estate agent,
Yeah.
a interior
A
design,
designer.
a construction.
Loan officer.
Yeah,
And
obviously.
the loan officer.
Yeah. Right.
That's the key one
So-
on that.
Well, so for you folks out there listening that may be afraid to take that plunge on a renovation home or to buy one that's an ugly house, as Robin termed it with her first-time
Yeah.
home buyer, that is something that you should consider because you, Nikki, when you did that,
Yeah.
did it work out financially for you? Meaning that not only the approval of the loan and all that stuff, but when you went to sell it, was it a,
Yeah.
The
was it
value
okay?
had values there.
I sold just before the market was like, going south. And
Okay.
so I came out.
So timing
I
is
got
okay
to
on it,
sell.
but
Yeah,
generally, they're
I
not-
came out ahead, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, and generally they're not going to put you in a loan with
No.
rehab that's going to overvalue
No.
the property.
No,
right?
no, no,
Yeah,
no, no.
They'll
exactly.
take a value of what's going on in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, I used down payment assistance on my first house too.
Yeah. That's what my client's
Yeah.
using down.
So I
payments.
did.
And you can get it with down payment assistance.
Yep.
So if folks out there, if you know anybody, you have friends, family, coworkers, loved ones, children, stepchildren, you name it, have them contact us and see about these opportunities because there's a lot of good information, a lot of properties that you can choose from that fit this exact scenario. We'll be back more talking with Eric Swift about diversifying your retirement buckets. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
Josh Roueche, Remax Advantage Plus.
We'll be back.
You make it look good. Yeah, you make it look good. You make it look fine like a diamond shining in
Welcome back to the Stockwell Roueche Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
Josh Roueche, Remax Advantage Plus.
Little country. It's the middle of July, folks. If you haven't realized it, we are halfway
We
through.
are country.
And we're in the country, and we're halfway through summer. We're halfway through summer. You may not, like myself, and when spring came and those first warm days came in May, I said, I'm going to do this project, got this backyard project. I want to do this yard thing and all these things, this fence. You may be behind like myself in your summer projects. Now is the time to either do those or you're going to have to wait till next year. So we're halfway through. We got the State Fair coming up.
Yep.
We will be live. Stockwell Roueche Show live August 30th at the State Fair at the AM 1280 Patriot
I like corn on the
booth.
cob. Feel free to stop by.
So that's, and I hate to bring up the
Cheese
State
curds,
Fair, but
baby.
it's already coming. It's
Alligator.
a little over a month away, and we're already there. So enjoy your summer, folks, and have fun. And talking about that, enjoying your summer and doing projects, one of the things you should be doing is diversifying your retirement buckets. Time to think about what's
It is.
going on with your retirement and investment. If you just bought a home or you have a home and now your job is offering you 401ks, Eric will talk about how that works and how you can diversify your retirement buckets. Eric Swift, Country Financial. Welcome again, Eric.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, absolutely. You guys brought up, your 2003K, which is a very interesting product. Something I
It is.
didn't know about. And there's products out there that people just don't know a lot about, and it's just a lack of, someone talking to them. At Country Financial, we are a one-stop shop where we've got, the insurance side, of course, home and auto, things like that, but we also are a full retirement stop as well. And one of the things that I wanted to bring up today was diversifying your retirement a little bit as far as tax deferred retirement is, a 401k. A lot of people have a 401k through their employer. And they're maxing out the match, which is great.
Well, are they?
Well,
That's
you hope
a topic.
they
They should be. If folks
They
out
hope
there,
they
if you have a 401k match from your company,
You should.
and most companies are going to be offering, especially with unemployment, how low it is right now, and the competitive job market, make sure you are matching that.
Yes,
That's
take advantage of
free,
that. That's free
money
money.
you're getting, and it's tax deferred. I mean, it's something you should be doing
Absolutely.
all the way through. Max. It's sacrifice if it means giving up something that costs $200 a month. Give it up, put it into your 401k, especially if you're getting a match.
Yep, a 401k usually, 3 to 6% is generally what a company sometimes would match, and you're right, it is a free money. So once you match that, though, once you hit that 6% as far as what you can put in, as far as what your company is going to match, do you keep piling on in your 401k and just putting as much in there as possible? Maybe you can, but what I want to talk about today is maybe taking some of that money and starting a different kind of account, a unique account that maybe a lot of people don't know a lot about, which is a Roth IRA. And the Roth IRA is unique to almost every other retirement account in the fact that you start a Roth IRA and it grows tax deferred just like anything else. But once you're 59 and a half and pull it out, you don't pay any taxes whatsoever on anything you pull out. Not just your contributions, but what it grew to.
So that's opposite of a 401k, where a 401k you pay taxes on
anything that you pull out, right?
Absolutely.
and
yeah.
your gains.
on a 401k, you're going to pay taxes on, everything. Because you haven't yet.
Yep.
On a Roth IRA, the reason you are not paying taxes on what you put in is because you put it in after tax. So when you're contributing to this thing, you're putting it in after you've already paid taxes. So everything that you put in, you can actually, this is another tool, another way to use this thing. Before you want to pull it out, at 59 and a half is the magic number to pull all of it out tax-free. But your contributions that you put in this thing before 59 and a half, you can always go in and pull your contributions out. At no penalty.
No penalty.
Right.
Wow.
Sort of in
So-
case of
Now,
an
it's not
emergency?
recommended to do that, but
Yeah.
what are some
Right.
examples of when you might
Right,
want to do
right.
that? We're talking
Let's-
home
yep.
renovation? I don't know. But
Yeah, let's not forget this is a retirement account.
Right.
But the reason these are so neat is because you can start them at a young age. They're very cheap to start, as far as $50 to $100 a month. You can contribute up to $5,500 a year, but it can be used as a tool if need be. We recommend setting up an emergency fund first for stuff, but it can be used in case something comes up that you didn't see coming, or in some of the things we're talking about, funding a first-time home. You
For down payment?
can pull out not only your contributions, but some of the actual earnings tax-free, up to a certain amount for things like a first-time home payment, a higher education, some disability things, stuff like
Nice.
that. So it can be kind of used like throughout your whole life. You're contributing this thing, but if you need some cash for some things, home improvements, pulling out money for whatever, you can go in and take your contributions out of this thing and use it for those things. And it's
without
It's
penalty.
without
Which in a
penalty.
401k, you're going to get penalized.
Yep. Now keep in mind, let's say after 5 years you've invested $20,000 and it's worth $30,000, the whole thing. You've got that $20,000 that you can go in and pull out, but that if you went in and passed the 20, anything you pull out, that it earned on its own,
Right.
that would be taxable.
That's
But
taxable.
Gotcha.
It's a really neat tool, and a lot of people don't know about it, but it's easy to start. It's affordable to start.
What
And,
age could you start?
you can start as long as you're individually, as long as you have an income, you can start it at any age. But you can start it for your child, for example.
wow.
And start, a 401k for them when they're young. And
Sounds like a great product.
You
people
can
use
start
it.
a Roth IRA for a child who's like 4 or 5
Yep.
if you want to.
Yep. So
I
all of a
know
sudden
that.
they're 18, going to go to college.
There it is. Yep.
Wow.
They have
Stuff
that
there.
along with the 529 plan, which you guys help
Yep.
with that 529 plan.
Yep. Absolutely. 529 plan is another one.
Awesome tool. I've heard so much about that, and it's very, very, very powerful.
People use those two hand in hand.
You can front load the 529. I heard very heavily.
Well, someone
the front
explain the
end to get the
529. 'Cause
college
not all
paid
our
for.
listeners know what a 529 plan is.
Oh yeah,
529 it's a college savings retirement account. So It's not an after-tax addition. It's before taxes. But what the cool thing is, it kind of works like a Roth. If you pull it out for education, you can pull it out tax-free.
Awesome.
Nice.
The catch to that is you save up this 529 plan for your son, and he goes, sorry, I'm not going to college. Now you pull you pull it out then for something else, and you would pay taxes on it.
Or if you have another child, you can roll it to that child, though, right?
Correct. Yep.
Now, my question on that is,
That's another way to go get another child then.
Really.
if anybody has
Hurry
kids,
up, honey.
does anybody out there listening have kids, grandkids, or yourself going to college right now? You have to know the sheer cost of college is insane.
It's going to
Yes.
keep going up. too.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
If you go to a private school, a liberal arts school, you're talking around $50,000, $50,000 a year. If you're going to a state school or a public or a state-run school, you're still in the 20s. 20. I don't know what the last quote on the U of M, because they just did their price freeze is over. The U of M just increased their tuition rates. Astronomical amounts of money. Start your child when they are born, if you
Right.
could, but for sure when they're in their young age, if possible. The economy's booming right now. Folks are making money. You have great jobs that are paying you well. Don't blow all that money right away. Yes, have fun, do your enjoyment, but take some of it and put it away in these plans.
Set them up.
Because
Have
when
something
it
to show
comes
for
to
it.
your college, your kid's college, or your grandkid's college, and they look and they say, "Hey, I really want to go to this school. This is my passion. This has got the school that I want." And then of course, you want to make sure they have what they want. And you get the college. You look it up, and it says $54,000 a year. You're thinking, and that doesn't include books. That doesn't include
that
certain things.
for
You're
4
thinking,
years?
holy moly,
Right.
So.
$200,000.
Make sure you put it away. Let it sit in there. You'll have 15, 20 years of growth on it. It's a very, very, very powerful. And that's the buckets. Take your fun bucket. And I went to a Millionaire Mind Intensive a while ago, and the speaker talked about that. Setting buckets out. You have your fun bucket. You put a certain amount of much money in every month. You have your 401k and your Roth and your 529. Then you have your house payments and all that stuff, of course, bucket. And you have all these different buckets, and you make sure that you fund them. Now, if rough times come, yes, you got to pull back on some of the auxiliary ones or the fun ones, but you always keep the investing one going. You always, always, always invest. So invest, folks. And that means investing in a home if you have the ability. And reach out to us on that for sure. I would definitely encourage you. Home ownership is the direct path to financial freedom, and you statistically have more financial power and financial everything is better financially usually when you own a home, except for downturns that we had before. But things are looking like that will not happen again for a while, at least in the near future. So anyway, I went on a rant there, but invest. So Eric, any other things that are good to know about Roth IRAs? I like this one a lot.
Me too. That's nice.
Just to start early, like you said, the time value of money and growth is it can't be said enough of. So get that in there. It doesn't take a lot to invest. I mean, a lot of people these days can't pay for their kid, their child and son's whole college, but to help a little bit here and there.
Yeah, if you can have enough in there from maybe to cover a year or part of it, or they let the scholarships or the work study or they can work during their college years. I mean, there's a lot of ways to do it, but it's 529 is very powerful, and so is a Roth, because the money is not taxed when it comes out for the purpose that you're using it for. So it's very, very, very powerful. And start as early as possible. And even Eric, what's the minimum amount someone could start one?
Good question. It depends on what companies you're using, but for us, $50 a month, $100 a month,
$100 a month.
Yep.
How easy is that to say, hey, the beer with the boys I can just take one night.
In my case, Culver's.
or Culver's. Wow, that's a good Culver's bill. Well, I suppose if you go 4 times a month or something, that could add up.
And you can put in up to $5,500 in a year as a single person, $11,000 as a couple. So there are some limits to it. It's your basic IRA limits, but yeah, if it's and it's got some income limits as well too. Where if you, as far as the Roth goes, if you make at this point, it's over 116,000 to 131 is the phase-out period. But again, that's why this is the thing. You can start getting out of college. It's easy. It's affordable. You can start with very little down, and it's going to.
I love it. Roth IRA. Contact Eric Swift, Country Financial, 651-846-8159. We'll be back more talking about tool time and remodeling with Robin Hartwell and Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
Josh Roueche, Remax Advantage Plus.
Home on the free, yeah. Little pink houses.
I love that show. Everybody out there listening, if you know what that's from,
That's hilarious.
Say it. We'll say it now. Tool time.
Tim the Tool
Tool Man, and Al, his sidekick, and then the neighbor with that you
The
never
guy that
saw.
you never see his face.
You only saw
Yeah, that was
eyes.
awesome. Just his forehead and over the fence.
Yeah.
That was actually Herman Munster, right?
It
Was
kinda
it?
It is.
looked
It
like
is. I
him.
think it really is.
Was
He
it?
played
Oh,
Herman Munster.
really?
in
I
the
did not
Munsters
know that.
Back in the day.
I used to golf with Al all the time.
Al as a co-host?
Yeah.
Or as nice.
Yeah, I used to golf with him all the time.
So we're talking about investment buckets, design, remodeling. We have Eric Swift, Country Financial on here. Just went over awesome information on Roth IRAs. Get one. Set them up early for yourself and your children if you have children. And you never are too young to start one of those. And you can do $50 a month or up to $5,500 a year. We have Nikki Knuckles with Wells Fargo here talking about we have a cool list we'll go over later. It's the down payment assistance we talked about it a while ago, but tons and tons of programs available that you may not know about because
Actually, I have one
there
of our
has to be
listeners.
a
One of our
benefit
listeners
to it.
wrote a question in.
Oh, nice.
Her name is Stephanie. She's from Shoreview, and she's out looking at property. She's a first-time home buyer. She wrote an email asking, where do I find these down payment assistance programs, and what cities are they available in the certain areas that I'm looking to buy a home.
www.
So Nikki Knuckles with Wells Fargo can answer that. Yep, go ahead, Nikki.
Go ahead.
www.hocmn.org. That is the Minnesota Home Ownership Center. This group is awesome. They have a major network of nonprofit providers to talk about budgeting and homebuyer education. But on that website, you can actually click on first-time homebuyer. You're going to go into tools, and you'll be able to search by address, zip code,
Very nice.
city, and they keep up to that.
Actually.
They also have a low down payment loan program matrix as well. They call it an affordability matrix.
For our listeners, one more time, what was that? website?
www.hocmn.org.
So if someone looking to buy a home and may not know about down payment assistance or programs that are
That's
available,
great.
there are how many, Nikki? Do you know off the top of your head? I have 2 pages, a
Yeah.
little over 2 pages
Yep.
in my hand here, so there's a lot of them.
Yeah. So that's just for the 7-county metro.
Nice.
There's about 24, and 3 of those 24 are available everywhere in the state of Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Very
And I'm
cool.
looking at some of the amounts here, and they
Yeah,
range
it's
from,
ridiculous. Look at that.
I mean, you got 2,500 all the way up to 60,000 in some of these things in down payment assistance or rehab money. Awesome stuff. So go there if your child, grandchild, or you yourself are looking to buy or renovate your home, or if you're a veteran. There's awesome programs we talked about
we've
before
had
for
those on
veterans,
before, yep.
which is truly free. It's after 5 years, it's waived completely. Many of these programs,
Many of those are like
right,
that as
Nikki?
well.
Yeah, they all vary, but
There's some sort of payback if you sell, but if you're in the home long enough, usually
it's
a lot of them
forgivable.
have a forgivable
Yep.
factor to them.
The goal is to keep you in the house for a little bit of time, stabilizes the neighborhood, gets you, your ground, your
one
your
thing we
feet on the
should
ground.
bring up too is HUDhomestore.com. If you are a what they call a good neighbor program, firefighter, EMT, teacher, police officer, they have programs on certain houses
Yeah.
that you can literally buy for half price, 50% off the price. Now,
Get with a realtor on that.
Yes.
Though.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
go
Yep.
searching and trying to figure that out on your own.
Yeah.
There's so many rules with working
a lot
with
of
a
rules.
HUD
And you
home.
got to contact us on that too. And
Yes.
a lot of them,
Yes.
HUD is very unique. They are truly as is. So
Yep.
they may be, like Robin talked about, they may be that ugly house, but if you're getting it for 50% off and you do a
And
203K
203K,
program with
right.
Wells Fargo or something, or or you guys have a conventional rehab program,
On the HUD homes, you'd use the FHA
Yeah,
part.
FHA because it is a- yeah.
But yeah.
so phenomenal opportunities that are needles in the haystack sometimes, and you need experts just like Eric can help you, Eric Swift with Country Financial, on some of these investments. you can find these awesome opportunities, but you have to reach out and have to be willing to participate and also just ask questions and then make the commitment to do it, to actually
because it's going to be a lengthy process, right? It's just not going to be a 30-day close. You're going to actually go through a full process on something like that. But if you're willing to invest the time and the money and you have the patience to do it, it's a great product to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that, Robin, on designing, remodeling, and my fear of that, or what I hear is, oh, that's too much work. I don't have time. I'm working. The kids are busy. The last thing I want to do is come home to a house that's under construction, right? So
I'm guilty of that.
Well, and
I just did that just now.
Well, and a good case that I'm working on right now is a very good example. I was working with a couple. She was expecting her first baby, and they were putting their condo up for sale, and they were just going to rent. They said, we need to put our condo up. We're just going to rent. He was in school. So talk about a busy couple. He was still going to school, getting his master's degree. She was working. They're expecting their first child. So I put up their condo, and it sold in like 3 days.
Wow.
Nice.
And for a lot more money than what they ever expected to get for it. Cool. So they were like, oh, we're so thankful for that. Well, we got a lot more money for it. Well, maybe we will buy. So I found them the next unit down the hall from where in the same building.
Yeah.
It was a bank-owned unit. It needed a lot of work. But I said, look, I'm an interior designer. Let's go take a look at it. If you're willing to,
have a vision.
Have a vision. I will help you. I will waive my design fee for you guys. If you, work with me, I will help you with this, and then we'll get it done. It was a super great deal. It was the only unit that faced the lake, 2 full bathrooms, 2 full bedrooms. It was twice
Very
the
nice.
unit that they had before, and they would get a really great deal on this unit. And the listing agent had it on. He had just the outside picture of it, no inside pictures. Nobody even
That happens
knew.
on bank-owned
Well,
sometimes.
A lot of that stuff does happen on that.
Yeah.
When you don't have the interior fixed up, they'll just throw up the one photo up.
And the cabinets were like paper. They were falling off the walls and everything. I said,
Most
look,
people
this
would
is a
come into
gem.
that, right, Robin? Most people come in there and walk out. They walk in, they walk out.
They
I see.
walk in, they
I'm with
walk
clients
out.
that do that all the time.
And I told them, I said, look, this is we can do something
Needle in
with
the
this.
haystack, a lot of opportunity, a lot of potential.
Yeah. So they took the money that they made from the other unit. We absolutely gutted this place. Now it was it was bank owned, so it was, it was a lot of work getting to the closing on this. We had to work with the bank and stuff, but we got there and we did the renovation on this, and I worked with them on the cabinets and everything.
It was a
This
couple, correct?
place-
It
yes,
was a
it's a
couple,
couple.
yeah.
They had their baby in the middle of this process.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my gosh.
Okay. And it's like, so they move in this weekend, and this place looks like $1 million. You would not believe it was the
Awesome.
same
The
place.
difference.
And that when they turn around and go sell this in about 5 years, this will be the best looking unit in the whole place. And it's over at Excelsior and Grand. It looks
Nice.
absolutely
Very nice.
amazing. They will absolutely get not only their money back out of it,
That's top dollar.
but they'll get more.
So the potential, the opportunity is there if you're willing to have a vision.
Well, let me stop you there. So we got genders, right? There's the male, and then there's the female. When we go out and show houses, and I know I've gone out and showed like foreclosures, beat up houses, the guys are like, "Yeah, we could fix this thing up. This happens." The
But the
female,
wife-
the female version is a very visual person.
Or
And when they don't see it,
or the wife knows that the husband will say he's going to do everything.
that's
That's it.
That's so
That's
true.
it.
That
5
is-
years later,
that's
the
a lot
deck
of-
there's
Sherry
no deck on
knows.
there's no deck on the house. 5 years later, when it was the first thing we were going to do if we bought this house. Or
Well,
this.
in this case, he had
That's
done
why you
some
hire
work.
someone.
He had already
Exactly.
done some work on their previous condo, and he goes, "Look, I'm not touching this because this almost ruined our marriage on the
Yep.
previous
Yeah, it
condo.
can be
So I
tricky.
know we're hiring a contractor here. So can you help us?" I said, "Yes, absolutely. I know a great contractor." So he already knew that they weren't going to do anything here, and so I helped them with that, and they were very grateful. They absolutely love what they're, what they got into. So,
cool.
but
I just
you
find
really
that I
need
find
to-
that funny because I'm working with probably about 6 couples right now, and it's when we go out and when we look at some of these homes that they want to look at, the guys are like, yeah, we could do this. Let's do this. And then they're like, this isn't happening.
I think I saw something on Facebook that said you don't have to constantly ask your husband to do something every 6 months. He will get to it. He knows about it.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Because the point of that, it's a joke that it takes forever. But anyway, so designing your home doesn't have to be overwhelming. Robin, with the reason we played Tim the Tool Time song there is Robin was the former co-host, 12-year co-host of the popular home improvement television show Home Time. Mm-hmm. That was on TV, and that was with Al, who was the sidekick of Tim.
No, I didn't work with Al. I worked with Dean on Home Time. But
Dean on Home Time. My bad.
Home Time. But now I did the infomercial Little Giant infomercial.
Little Giant Ladders.
Right? Oh, yeah. So you got to golf with Al.
I got to golf.
Is he a good golfer?
He's an amazing golfer.
Really?
He's like a scratch golfer.
Oh, my goodness.
He's amazing. Wow. Yeah.
So she did a degree in interior design and then 20 years of experience in housing. So call us about interior design and questions. We'll be back more talking about summing it up with retirement buckets, down payment assistance, and some other good bits of information for you. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
Josh Roueche, Remax Advantage Plus.
We'll be back.
T-shirt over the lampshade. I'll take the furniture.
Welcome back to the Stockwell Roueche Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
Josh Roueche, Remax Advantage Plus.
Nikki Knuckles, Wells Fargo in studio. Eric Swift, Country Financial, and Robin Hartle with Remax Results and her own design company, which was
Robin Hartle Design and Style.
Perfect. Robin Hartle Design and Style. Mythbusters. I think we should. I love the show. I think it's awesome. So we are going to do this segment dedicated to for you folks out there and for you people listening and for your friends and family that you may have heard these myths. We're all going to come up with or have a myth, and then we're going to bust it. So go ahead, Nikki's leading us off.
Okay, let me bust two really good ones.
Awesome.
All right, here we go.
A survey. These are surveys we did, and they're comparable to others in the market. So pretty solid information. 44% of people we surveyed thought they needed a 20% down. We all know that's not
20%
true.
20% down to buy a home.
Seriously, 44% of people thought they needed 20%
How is
down.
that possible? With what's going on?
$200,000
gotta spread
home.
the word.
$200,000 home. $40,000 they figure they need. Holy moly!
I'm sorry, Eric. I'm not going to take my $40,000 out of my IRA. I'm going to find a low down payment. If you're a vet, 0% down.
Right.
If you're, say, in the rural areas, want to buy in the rural area, 0% down.
Yep.
FHA,
USDA.
we know, is 3.5% down, which is really good. FHA goes
So
nowhere.
that goes to everybody.
But 3% down with conventional financing with, that's enough said, right?
You don't need
yes.
20% down to buy a home. Busted.
And you can use the DAPs. Busted. Okay, moving on. High credit score. We surveyed. A ton of people thought they needed a really high credit score. No, you do not. But what I'm going to say about that is we can go pretty low on credit score, but please budget. We know that you need to budget. We know you need to save. We know you need to pay your bills. But you do not need a super high credit score.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
So that to buy a home, you do not need 20% down. Now, if you have it, great. And you
Awesome.
want to utilize it for it, awesome. If you also think if your credit score isn't perfect, which not many people's are perfect, then you can still buy a home. Those are both busted. Thank you, Nikki. That was awesome. Nikki Knuckles, Wells Fargo. Eric Swift, myth or myths, I guess.
I think the myth we kind of already touched on it is just the thought process that it's difficult to start a retirement account outside of your job.
No.
It's not, and you don't need to be rich or make a ton of money, or be a certain age. Just to it's very, very easy, and it doesn't cost a lot. And I think that people are just afraid to do that because they think the myth that this is
Only the
difficult.
wealthy-
I got to
only
have
the
a
wealthy-
bunch of money.
Yeah,
money
only the
saved
wealthy
up.
might be able to do it. Yep.
And it's very easy, and I can show you how. So
I love it. Retirement accounts are for everybody, no matter where you're at. It's not just for the uber rich or the 1% or whatever you want to call them.
Busted.
Busted. I love it. All right, Robin Hartle, myth.
I can't afford an interior designer. They're just too expensive. That is a total myth. Interior designer, you can't afford not to hire an interior designer.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
Yeah,
I like
because if you try to go it on your own and you're out there and you're trying to source all of the people that you need to source, like contractors and all the materials and cabinets and everything else, and you buy all the wrong stuff and you use all the wrong people, you can get taken, you can buy all the wrong things, and you can put all the wrong things together and end up spending a lot more money than you needed to spend in the end. That if you would have hired an interior designer and and that person helped you make all the right choices, you would end up spending a lot less money.
So that is another myth. I believe that because I tend to buy into the myth
I do.
that interior designers, just like Eric talked about, is only for the rich people. Only really affluent, well-off people can hire an interior designer. Normal folks will have to just do it themselves and go to the store and buy the stuff. Right? I mean, so that's feasible for people. Or possible for people to do.
Right, and then they help you also figure out where to spend your dollars on and where to spend, what to save money on, where to spend your.
I think there's an old phrase too that, and I don't know if this is an old phrase or not, but it says something like in real estate, if your realtor should provide enough value that they're free to you.
Yeah.
The cost to you is free because they're getting enough for your house or helping you buy that it's free to you. Same thing with anybody in a financial planning. Their services, their costs for their services should be free because they're helping you in your gains outweigh what your expenses would be by utilizing their services because you're leveraging and helping yourself. Same with interior design. If you're doing it on your own, you're maybe paying premiums or retail. When an interior designer has connections, resources, contractors that can get stuff maybe at wholesale.
Yes.
And they can get it together. So the cost savings might cover the total cost or maybe even less than the cost of the interior designer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really? A lot of time? Awesome. Busted. I have a myth. All real estate agents are the same. Whoa.
No.
So that is a myth that I hear all the time. It's a commodity business. We hear it in many other businesses out there too, probably in lending, in insurance and in financial planning. You hear that as well. No one is the same. Just like
You actually took mine, kind of. But
I did.
Yeah,
Oh,
kind of.
sorry.
Okay, good. We'll come up with something real quick.
Well, just like you yourself out there, you are different than every single person in the world. Just like your real estate transaction or the sale of your house or the purchase of your home or your investment plan or strategy is going to be different and tailored, unique. So not all real estate agents are the same. We all have strengths and specialties and have different resources and connections. And you want to make sure you're paired up with the right one that works for you. If you're not and it doesn't work, be honest. Just say up front, hey, this isn't working. Or, hey, this is going great. I love this one. Or always refer out the ones that you really, really like. So we, of course, are always here to help you. It's our full-time deal, Josh and myself and Robin, and we want to help you succeed in your real estate goals. Busted. I think, right?
Busted. Mine is real estate agents make a lot of money. Well, we can. We're not W-2 wage earners. We're not getting paid a weekly paycheck. We're actually working for our money. The good ones are working for their money. They're putting in the 60, 70 hours a week. They're running teams. They're running individuals underneath them. We do not get paid on a weekly basis. We do not get a W-2.
Wait, you don't get a salary?
I don't get no. There's no salary whatsoever.
I thought you got a salary. No, I don't get a salary.
I don't get a salary.
I hear that one a lot. Real estate, they say, "Oh, your broker doesn't pay you a salary." It's like, no, we pay our broker.
Right, we pay.
To work
we
for
pay
the broker.
Them.
Yeah.
So just
People
like you're
are shocked by that. As a matter
they're
of fact.
so surprised.
Shocked.
Like when you go get your haircut at a stylist. The stylist sometimes if it's an individual,
there's costs.
They will pay to have a seat. Yeah. So it's the same thing. So even though real estate agent, well, Josh, I'm going to go on with this myth a little more.
Let's go.
But you drive such nice cars. You have to be rich and make a lot of money as a realtor.
Well, you want to make sure that you're driving a nice car because you're going to be putting people in your car sometimes and driving around. You don't want to be driving.
It's your office.
So it's kind of like an office.
Right.
Exactly.
Actually, it is my office. I am in my car probably 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
So I am in my car a lot.
Yeah.
Can I add a myth, please?
Yes.
Please,
go ahead, Nikki.
Thank
We've got a couple minutes. Go.
People think they have to pay their realtor when they're a buyer.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
that's a good one.
Isn't that a good one?
Right.
You guys, is it true?
No. Busted.
Probably
Busted.
99% of the time, no.
Rare, once in a great while.
But if
maybe.
you're buying a house off the MLS and a normal 99% of the time, the seller is paying the commission. So I look at it as a liability. Why not? If you're not paying the agent to help you out of your pocket,
Buy a house, yeah.
why wouldn't you have someone on your side to at least
Negotiate on your behalf.
negotiate for you? It covers liability factors. You have someone else to lean on to help out. And there's
It's one of your
so
biggest
many
assets.
benefits.
It's one of your biggest assets you're going to buy. You need to have representation on that asset because when you go out and you do representation, you don't want that realtor sold like 2 homes and just, hey, let's get this, let's put the highest
someone to help
offer in
you.
there.
Even if you're buying a for sale by owner, even if you're buying the place that you're renting right now, if you know someone who's buying the place they're renting right now, we had a story 2 weeks ago. Their appraisal came in. Their purchase price was over $300,000. The appraisal came in at $230,000, I think. So they were overpaying by $70,000. They did not have an agent involved. Had they had an agent involved, we would have most likely caught that before it got to the closing table. Now it didn't close, and they got saved, luckily, by the lender or the bank and the appraiser. But boy, oh boy. Be careful. Get good people on your side. We're here to help. We're in the service industry. We're all here to help you. Nikki, Eric. So Nikki Knuckles, Wells Fargo. Eric Swift with Country Financial. Robin Hartle with Robin Hartle Design and Style. And I'm Jason Stockwell with RE/MAX Results.
And Josh Roueche, RE/MAX Advantage Plus.
Thanks so much for listening. Our loyal listeners will be back next week. Remember, love yourself and love others.